Imagine waiting for a loved one, expecting them to return as usual, but hours turn into days and days into years, and they never come back. You've searched tirelessly, pleaded for answers, and worked relentlessly with authorities, yet no trace of them is ever found. The pain of their absence, the unanswered questions, and the lingering hope become an unbearable burden. For some, this is not just a fear, it's their reality. Countless families share this torment, united by the anguish of unsolved mysteries. Today we delve into 15 of the most shocking disappearances that remain unsolved, leaving behind stories that haunt us to this day. Brace yourself for mysteries so perplexing that even the sharpest detectives have been left without answers. 1. The vanishing of David Joseph. On May 5, 1985, in Léogâne, Haiti, a group of kids played in the shallow, calm waters of a river under the blazing sun. Among them was David Joseph, full of energy and excitement. Suddenly, without saying a word, David dove under the water, as if he was trying to catch a fish or shrimp. His friends waited for him to come up, expecting to see his smiling face or maybe a catch in his hand. But as the seconds turned into minutes, David didn't return. The group began to panic, diving into the water to search for him. The river was shallow, making it impossible for him to stay hidden or disappear, yet he was gone as if the river had swallowed him. The villagers searched for days, checking miles downstream and scouring the riverbanks, but no sign of David was ever found. The river was too calm and shallow to carry him away, and his disappearance made no sense. Some locals began to whisper about Metagiwi, a Haitian voodoo spirit who they believed had taken David to train him as a Wogan or voodoo priest. They said David would return when his training was complete, but years passed, and he never came back. His body was never found. The river, once a happy gathering place, became a place of fear and mystery. People avoided it, and its silence seemed to hold secrets too dark to uncover. To this day, David's fate remains a mystery, a chilling story of the unseen forces that may exist in our world. 2. The mystery of the Yuba County Five, 1978. The disappearance of the Yuba County Five has baffled investigators for decades. The five men, Gary Mathias, Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Ware, and Jack Hewitt, were close friends who shared a love for basketball, despite dealing with mild intellectual disabilities or mental health issues. After attending a basketball game in Chico, California, they mysteriously drove 70 miles in the opposite direction of their homes. Their car was found abandoned in a remote forest area with no mechanical issues or signs of foul play. Months later, the remains of 4 of the men were discovered. Ted Ware's body was found in a cabin, starved to death despite food supplies nearby. The others died from exposure in the harsh wilderness. Gary Mathias, however, was never found. Theories include foul play, psychological breakdowns, or even a possible supernatural occurrence, but the lack of answers only deepens the enigma surrounding their tragic fate. 3. The Springfield 3, 1992. A warm June night turned into a nightmare when Suzanne Streeter, her mother Cheryl Levitt, and friend Stacy McCall vanished from their Springfield, Missouri, home without a trace. The trio was last seen around 2 a.m. after Stacy and Suzanne returned home from a graduation party. By morning, they were gone, leaving behind no signs of forced entry or struggle. Their purses, cars, and even Cheryl's neatly folded laundry remained untouched, making the disappearance even more puzzling. Investigators have explored countless leads, including reports of a strange green van spotted near the house, but nothing conclusive has emerged. Speculation ranges from abduction by a stranger to foul play by someone they trusted. Despite decades of searching and numerous theories, the Springfield Three remain a chilling mystery, leaving their families and the community haunted by unanswered questions. 4. The disappearance of Dorothy Arnold, 1910. Dorothy Arnold, a 25-year-old New York socialite, was the picture of sophistication and ambition. She vanished on a sunny December day while running errands on Fifth Avenue, a bustling area where disappearances seemed unimaginable. Dorothy had told friends she was shopping for a gown for her sister's debutante ball, but after leaving a bookstore, she was never seen again. Investigators scoured the city, from rivers to hospitals, and even traveled internationally, but their search yielded no clues. Theories about her disappearance range from abduction and murder to a planned escape from her privileged but stifling life. Some suggest Dorothy's family, desperate to avoid scandal, concealed evidence of her fate. More than a century later, her case remains one of the most confounding mysteries, a stark reminder that even the most well-connected individuals can vanish without a trace. 5. The Lost Franklin Expedition 1845. In 1845, Sir John Franklin embarked on an ambitious mission to map the Northwest Passage, a treacherous Arctic route connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The two ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, were well-equipped and carried 129 seasoned crew members. Yet, they never returned. For decades, the fate of the Franklin expedition remained shrouded in mystery. Inuit accounts hinted at the crew's desperate final days, describing men resorting to cannibalism as they succumbed to starvation and illness. Modern archaeological expeditions have uncovered haunting remnants, frozen bodies, preserved artifacts, and evidence of lead poisoning from canned food supplies. The wrecks of the ships, discovered in 2014 and 2016, added new pieces to the puzzle but failed to reveal the full story. The Franklin expedition remains a chilling testament to the unforgiving power of nature and the human spirit's limits when faced with its harshest trials. If these stories leave you intrigued and unsettled, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Your support helps us uncover more mysteries and share stories that deserve to be remembered. 6. The Disappearance of Rico Harris 2014. Rico Harris, a charismatic former Harlem Globetrotter, was on a road trip from Los Angeles to Seattle to start a new chapter in his life. But somewhere along the route, his journey came to a mysterious and tragic halt. His car was discovered abandoned at a rest area in California's remote Yolo County, with no signs of struggle and his belongings left untouched. Nearby, investigators found footprints leading away from the car into the wilderness, but they abruptly stopped, leaving no clue as to where Rico went next. Search teams scoured the rugged terrain for weeks, using helicopters, drones, and canine units, but not a single trace of him was found. Theories abound. Some suggest he wandered off during a mental health crisis, others suspect foul play, and still others believe he succumbed to the unforgiving wilderness. Rico's disappearance has left his family and friends haunted by unanswered questions, turning his story into one of the most perplexing cases in recent history. 7. The Disappearance of Zeb Quinn 2000. 19-year-old Zeb Quinn was a hard-working young man with a bright future, but his life took a bizarre turn on the night of January 2nd, 2000. After leaving work, Zeb met up with a friend to discuss buying a new car, but he never returned home. Days later, his car was discovered abandoned in Asheville, North Carolina, under circumstances that only deepened the mystery. Inside the car were strange items: a live puppy, a pair of lips drawn in lipstick on the rear window, and an empty soda bottle. There were no signs of Zeb or a struggle. Theories about his fate include foul play involving his friend, connections to workplace disputes, or a chance encounter with a dangerous stranger. Despite extensive investigations, including possible links to other crimes, no solid evidence has emerged, and Zeb Quinn's disappearance remains one of the most unsettling cases of a person vanishing without a trace. 8. Florida man vanished after sinkhole swallowed his bedroom. Jeffrey Bush was just 37 years old when a horrifying event turned an ordinary night into a tragedy. As he slept peacefully in his bed on February 28, 2013, the ground beneath his home in Seffner, Florida, suddenly gave way. Without warning, a massive sinkhole opened beneath his bedroom, swallowing him into darkness. The deafening crash woke his brother Jeremy, who rushed into the room, only to find a gaping void where Jeffrey's bed once stood. Desperate to save his brother, Jeremy jumped into the collapsing hole, risking his own life in a frantic attempt to reach Jeffrey. The floor was still giving in, and the dirt was still going down, but I didn't care, Jeremy recalled tearfully. I wanted to save my brother. I swear I heard him hollering my name, begging me to help him. Jeremy was pulled to safety just in time as the ground continued to crumble, but Jeffrey was lost forever. Experts later determined that the sinkhole had plunged Jeffrey into a 60-foot deep, water-filled cavern beneath the bedrock. Rescuers declared that retrieving his body was impossible. The unstable ground made any effort too dangerous. To this day, Jeffrey's body remains unrecovered, and the void that claimed him is a haunting reminder of the fragile line between safety and disaster. 9. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers, 1900. The disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers on the remote Flannan Isles off the coast of Scotland has fascinated and puzzled people for over a century. In December 1900, a relief ship arrived at the lighthouse to find it operational but eerily deserted. The table was set for a meal, beds were unmade, and a logbook detailed worsening weather conditions. But the keepers James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur were nowhere to be found. Theories range from drowning by a massive rogue wave to being swept away during a storm while securing equipment. However, the lack of evidence and the isolation of the lighthouse have also fueled more fantastical explanations, including supernatural forces or even alien abduction. The story of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers remains one of the most haunting maritime mysteries, leaving us with a chilling question: how can 3 men simply vanish into thin air? 10. The Lost Colony of Roanoke, 1590. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony is one of the oldest and most enduring mysteries in American history. In 1587, more than 100 settlers established a colony on Roanoke Island in modern-day North Carolina. When supply ships returned 3 years later, they found the settlement completely abandoned. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a tree. Theories about their fate are numerous. Some believe the colonists assimilated with friendly native tribes, while others suspect they perished due to starvation, disease, or attacks from hostile forces. Despite centuries of investigation, no definitive evidence has ever explained what happened to the settlers. The lost colony of Roanoke remains a poignant symbol of the fragility of human survival in the face of nature and conflict, and its mystery continues to captivate historians and storytellers alike. 11. The Disappearance of Glenn Miller, 1944. Glenn Miller, one of the most iconic big band leaders of the swing era, vanished under mysterious circumstances during World War II. On December 15, 1944, Miller boarded a small UC-64 Norseman aircraft in England, bound for Paris to perform for Allied troops. The plane never arrived. With no distress signal and no wreckage ever discovered, his disappearance became one of aviation's greatest enigmas. Theories abound. Some suggest engine failure due to icy conditions, others blame bad weather or pilot error. A more controversial theory posits that Miller's plane was accidentally shot down by Allied bombers jettisoning unused explosives into the English Channel. Despite extensive searches and decades of speculation, no conclusive evidence has ever surfaced. Glenn Miller's disappearance not only robbed the world of a musical legend, but also left an enduring mystery that continues to fascinate historians and aviation enthusiasts alike. 12. The Disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, 1975. Few disappearances have captured the public's imagination like that of Jimmy Hoffa, the infamous labor union leader. Hoffa was last seen on July 30, 1975, outside the Machus Red Fox restaurant in Detroit, where he was reportedly meeting with mobsters. What happened next remains one of the greatest mysteries in U.S. history. His car was found in the parking lot, but Hoffa was nowhere to be seen. Speculation about his fate includes theories that he was murdered by the mob, his body incinerated in a crematorium, or even buried under Giants Stadium in New Jersey. Despite decades of investigations, countless books, and even FBI searches, no definitive evidence has ever surfaced. Hoffa's disappearance has become a symbol of the shadowy intersection between organized crime and labor unions in mid-20th century America. 13. The Sodder Children, 1945. On Christmas Eve in Fayetteville, West Virginia, tragedy struck the Sodder family when a fire engulfed their home. While George and Jenny Sodder and 4 of their 10 children escaped, 5 of the children were never seen again. What makes this case so baffling is that no remains of the missing children were ever found in the ashes, despite thorough searches. Adding to the mystery, the family received strange phone calls and saw suspicious figures near their home both before and after the fire. Some speculate the children were kidnapped in retaliation for George Sodder's outspoken criticism of Mussolini and the Italian government. Others believe the fire was set intentionally to cover up a crime. The Sodder family spent decades searching for answers, even posting a billboard with their children's photos along a major highway. To this day, the fate of the Sodder children remains one of the most perplexing cases in American history. 14. The Beaumont Children, 1966. The disappearance of the Beaumont children Jane, Arna, and Grant shook Australia to its core. On a sunny Australia day, January 26, 1966, the siblings went to Glenelg Beach in Adelaide for a day of fun. They were last seen chatting with a man, described by witnesses as tall and thin with a suntan, before vanishing without a trace. Despite a massive nationwide search and countless tips, no solid leads have emerged. Theories include abduction by a predator, involvement by an organized crime ring, or even human trafficking. The case remains unsolved, leaving the Beaumont family and the nation haunted by unanswered questions. It is one of the most chilling and enduring mysteries in Australian history, symbolizing the fragility of childhood innocence. 15. Emanuela Orlandi, 1983. Emanuela Orlandi, a 15-year-old Vatican citizen, disappeared on her way home from a music lesson in Rome, plunging her family into decades of agony and speculation. Her case is riddled with conspiracy theories involving the Vatican, organized crime, and international espionage. Some believe she was kidnapped as leverage to pressure the Vatican into repaying debts to the mafia. Others speculate she fell victim to human trafficking or was killed to silence her family from uncovering a Vatican scandal. Theories even tie her disappearance to the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. Despite years of investigation and public appeals from Emanuela's family, no concrete evidence has been found. Her case remains a dark stain on Vatican history, leaving behind a legacy of secrecy, heartbreak, and unanswered questions. These disappearances are more than just stories, they're haunting reminders of the unknown. If these mysteries captivated you, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't stop here, watch our next video. Let's continue exploring the world's most perplexing enigmas together.